Today on the bench, I'm going to tie you up the Wilbur Wobbler. It's a pattern that Dave Burns showed us, and as you'll see, it's not a traditional pattern, but it really attracts the fish. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we'll use a Mustad size 8 C70 SD. We'll tie with some 30D black nano silk. We'll use some purple marabou for the tail, some 15mm dark blue chenille for the body, some black sheep foam for the back, and some 2002 polar flash for the tail highlights. So to start the fly off, I've tied on my black nano silk, and I've taken a 1 marabou feather and I've pulled out the tips so it's nice and fluid here. What I want to do is measure back at least double the length of the hook. You want this tail to be quite long, so it's at least 2 times as long as the hook, and we'll wrap it in. And always go behind the tail once just to make sure it stays upright. Now that we have the tail tied in, I'm going to take about 3 to 4 strands of my polar flash, tie it on, and then bring it back. And I like to bring it back just down the sides of the tail. And then once you've got it wrapped in, you want to cut it to length. So what we're going to do, pull it back to the end of the tail and just snip it off. Now that we have the tail and the highlights tied in, I've got a strip of the black foam, and I've cut it, probably about a ½ inch wide, maybe a little bit wider. And we're just going to lay it on the hook. So lay the bottom half down and really wrap it in good. And we'll lay this off the back because we'll bring that over as the back a little bit later once we tie in the body. Now that we have the foam underlay, we're going to take our plush chenille. This is, I used the blue. I've also used purple, but I find the blue and the purple really offset each other. So tie it in good. And then start wrapping. And again, as you wrap with the chenille, it's fairly full. Just keep pulling it back and make a nice full body on the pattern. Now that we have the body tied in, we're going to take our foam and create the back and take it right up to the eyelet. Wrap it fairly tight and don't cut it yet. And then wrap in front. So next step, now that we got the back tied in and the front, I'm going to whip finish the fly. Cut off my excess thread. And then what we're going to do is trim the front and make it quite large. We want quite a big top on the fly. And that actually acts as a bit of a rudder for the fly and makes the fly move back and forth. So there it is, the finished Wilbur Wobbler. Looking at it, you'd think it would not catch any fish, but trust me, it does. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca, and if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.